Hello, you're listening to Brain vs. Heart. We give you a man and woman's perspective on life and relationships, telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear.
You can find us on YouTube and most podcasting platforms as Brain vs. Heart. Or you can go to brainversusheart.com to find links to our YouTube page as well as the RSS link for the podcast. I'm Mr. Brain.
And I'm Mrs. Heart.
And today's focus of the podcast is going to be...
when to walk away.
Okay.
All right. So for those of you who have been following on the YouTube channel, I wanted to introduce Mr. Brain. He's my husband. You've heard me talking about him in several of the videos. So I figured it would be best if he's here to tell you from his point of view as well. Where we left off, we were talking about some issues that some of the men were having with women in their lives or relationships where they were stuck with someone who had become distant from them. And a great way or a great advice to give people is when to walk away and avoid the time wasting altogether. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be giving you some examples and addressing some of those as well. All right, so Mr. Brain, I know you're just filling in, but I had asked his advice on a situation where the INTJ said his INFP was being very distant. For those of you who have not been clued in on that video, basically a woman moved in with a guy, and then for 2 months, she wasn't giving him any intimacy. Find out later she wants to leave. So how can we recognize some of those behaviors early on? What do you think is something that people can do, Mr. Brain, to avoid wasting time? What are the signs to look for when you think somebody wants to leave you or when you should leave the relationship?
You want a general answer or an INTJ type of answer?
INTJ type of answer, since we have a lot of listeners that are that.
INTJ type of answer is you're going to want to set traps. And I know women do this too.
Yes, they do.
These are traps to help you confirm to yourself what you probably already know.
What is an example of a trap that you would set?
Okay, a common trap. This is not specific to INTJs, but one of the big things that people, always say is when a pattern changes. So let's say someone goes to work every day. Woman, man, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Someone goes to work. They're usually home by 6. And, once in a while they get hung up, go to the store, whatever. And that's nothing. But then you notice in this relationship, your example relationship, that this person comes home 2-3 hours later consistently. At some point, and I don't want to sound psycho with it, but I think everybody has done it, sat in a car or a corner somewhere and sat there and watched and says, this woman better not leave this building.
Or when you start questioning him, that's the other thing I've noticed too with a lot of people that I've spoken with, people I've tried to help. They start making a lot of excuses. When you can see, they ask for advice from the outside. And then when you tell them, I don't know, dude, she doesn't want to sleep with you anymore. She's out later. She's making excuses not to hang out with you. It seems as though the person is getting ready to look elsewhere. And I think they themselves kind of know it intuitively, but they come up with excuses saying, oh, she's not like that. I think once you find that other people can see what you're not seeing and you find yourself starting to make excuses, that's when you should start taking inventory.
Well, what do they say? The minute the woman stops just being amongst you, she already has someone.
Yeah.
It's not that she's looking. He's already there.
I'm going to be totally honest. As a female, I've been in relationships before. I'm more open about it, but a lot of the time, whenever I am distant from someone, I don't want to have sex with them anymore, I start to get irritated over them, it's usually because I'm getting ready to leave the relationship or I like someone else. Now, most girls won't be upfront with it because they don't want to hurt the guy or they have some other ulterior motive. But the minute you see that behavior changing and you'll notice it, that's the time that you need to leave. You either need to have a conversation with the person, and if that person is becoming very combative and defensive, that's when you need to start to say, you know what, this isn't worth my time. Because at that point, you're just wasting your time.
Well, in your mind. The big thing as an INTJ, I don't like to do is leave a shadow of a doubt. So that's one of the things I said, test. Confirm your suspicion. I think most men and women do this. I know women definitely do that. Confirm your suspicion. Yes, it's creepy. It's stalkerish. But honestly, it's going to be a lot easier to move forward righteously in your decision.
And then it also, you know what, I feel like asking the person, unless they're outright lying to you. But
Well, you really think they're going to be like, yeah, I'm screwing this guy at work?
No, but the good thing is the reason why you ask them first is, let's say that the woman is sleeping around. You're not sure. You just have an idea. You said, you know what? Let me talk to her first because if you just start accusing her, it's going to look really weird. So you say, hey, are you, what's going on? If she says nothing, are you cheating on me? No, everything's fine. And then you find out later that she is, that gives you a righteous high ground to leave. Because at that point, she can just lie to you or she can make you look bad and then leave you. You know what I'm saying? I've seen some people do that where they're just like, you're crazy. And then they break up with the person and then they tell everybody else that you're the crazy person. So it's good to get that kind of closure also. At least for me personally, I feel like that's a good way to do it. Because also you could be wrong. There's a very slim chance that you're wrong, but you could be wrong.
Yeah, that's
so I
true.
would say communication first.
There's also an interesting thought that I think goes through a lot of people's heads, but they don't acknowledge it. Even though 9 times out of 10, it's not really worth acknowledging, but sometimes you need to do a little self-reflection and analyze, am I pushing this person away?
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So, if you're not, and the person's doing whatever, then, okay, they're doing whatever and you can walk away righteously. If you're pushing the person away, then you have to analyze yourself and be like, okay, do I really want to continue to be with this person because I'm pushing them away? Or maybe I just don't realize what I'm doing.
It's a good thing that you brought that up, Mr. Brain, because that's one of the examples I wanted to give. And a lot of the time, it's not just the person that's doing something that requires you to walk away from a relationship. It's what you're doing. And a lot of guys suffer from this, the simp syndrome. I have a friend, as an example, who has liked this girl for years. And this girl has never had sex with him. Ever. He comes over to her house. He does her chores. He spends money on her. Whenever she needs anything, he is there like a superhero. And this girl has been wheeling him for years. And he has the expectation that he's going to get something out of it. Why? Because she's nice to him. She holds him on a rope. Guys, if you find that you are spending a lot of money on a girl after a certain amount of time and she is not giving you anything in return, if you find that you are spending most of your resources and your time and your energy and emotions on somebody that is not even really acknowledging you to that degree, she's only friend zoning you, that's when you need to walk away because it's never going to happen and she'll never respect you enough to let you in to that degree.
I would say 2 to 3 times you hang out with that person, by the third time, if there isn't an indication there, like this is going somewhere, I hate to say it, but, and this is the psychotic nature of some women, ghost her ass stupid hard.
Yeah.
And if she doesn't respond to that, because this is the psychotic nature of women, when you ignore them.
Yeah. They're like, why is he ignoring me?
Why is he ignoring me? Maybe there's something I didn't realize about him I should take a second look. That happens. But if she doesn't respond with that, then you have to walk away.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, part of the psychotic nature is a woman may respond with that, and as soon as they get you back, they ignore you again.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you have to build yourself as a character before you even get into that level of relationship. That's why sometimes it's good to have someone break your heart. Because I find that a lot of guys don't really become who they need to be until they realize that women aren't precious little angels. I think the problem with a lot of guys, and maybe this is something wrong with our generation, where the fathers don't really teach them. You have the mothers wearing the pants, or the fathers are not around as much. So the fathers or dads don't really teach them how to be men. So, and it doesn't really help with our culture and our society right now with the whole Me Too thing.
Well, I think it's important. I think the fathers are vitally important. I also think strangely, which isn't typically mentioned, I also think strangely having sisters is important, which, I mean, you can't control that, but...
You think that helps them to
Well,
understand
I'll
better?
give you an example.
Okay.
Okay. Women take shits. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. They're living around. They know
women fart and do nasty stuff.
They're not unicorns. You've lived with them.
Yeah, it's not exactly attractive. Doesn't, make you want to be like, oh yeah, baby, I want to go in the bedroom.
Plus, you have a cockrophobia.
But what it does do is it knocks females off a pedestal. I think if a guy grew up with not a mother influence, but a sister influence, someone
on his level,
someone closer to his level, he starts to realize, all right, some women are disgusting pigs too. So I'm not going to prop them up like they're angels that need to be worshipped.
They're perfect. Yeah, they have that much power. You do that, they have too much power over you. Then they don't need you.
They're not attracted to you.
And here's another thing too that a lot of women know instinctively. It all boils down to biology. The woman knows that for the man to chase her, she has to want to be chased, or she has to run, or she has to lure him. She doesn't give too much away. What happens if a woman is always up on you and is giving you, sex or whatever constantly? You start to get tired of her. You're like, oh my God, you're too desperate. You don't have your own identity. But this woman over here that's unattainable, you have the hots for that woman. That's the woman you fantasize about because you haven't gotten her. It's the same thing, the same way that women will look at men. If you're a man that's always a yes man, you have no identity. It's all about her. You worship her like some kind of religion. A woman will look at that, and you know what they see when they look at men like that? They see a child, because that's the same way kids behave. And if she sees you as a child, always submissive 100% of the time, she's going to only see you as that. She's not going to see you as a male or a prospect of a mate. She's going to see you as a friend. She's not going to see you as somebody who's threatening. And it's really crazy, but females biologically admire men who are intimidating and threatening. I know I don't mean it in a bad sense, like, somebody who's like going to kill you or something. I mean, there is a way that certain men that women go after, and you may think of it as, oh, they only go after the disgusting men or the slobs, or not the slobs, but like the jocks, people who treat them badly. There's a reason for that, because those men don't need them. They can get women easy. There's some kind of personality that they give off where the women are like, he doesn't need me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I mean, maybe he doesn't, but he oozes
that confidence.
It is confidence, but the poor man's confidence is stop giving a shit about everybody but yourself.
Right.
It's selfish. And it's very similar to confidence, and that's why you see a lot of guys act like that. There's a lot of guys out there that are not really confident, but they act like it. Mm-hmm. You can tell this because there's a lot of guys that act like they're big men, but one girl says you have a small penis, and he's crying in the corner and depressed. He was never really confident, but he faked it.
Right.
And it worked to get the girl. It worked in such a way that he acted like, hey, listen, girl, I want to spend time with you, but I don't need you.
Right.
I can get another girl like that.
I have options.
Yeah, I have options. And it's not just relationships, it's in business too. It's the same thing. When someone else has options, they have the power.
Right. So that's a good way to notice. And usually, guys, if someone points it out or you notice it, you'll usually notice it. Some people are blind to it. But if you're chasing this girl and your heart is hurting because you're constantly pining for this girl and it's been years, and it's not like you've been pining for her in the corner, you're like, oh my God, you think about her at night, you fantasize about her. If you're actively interacting with this girl and she's leading you on, or she's friend zoned you, it's time to walk away. That girl is not going to want to have anything to do with you. Now, I know some guys are probably going to be like, okay, that's great, but what if I actually do really want the girl? How do I make her want me back?
Well, here's what I would do. This is just me. I would say, look, I would make the decision. What do I want to be friends with her, or do I want to be more? There is no two. You can't have both.
In between, yeah.
There's no in between. What you need to do is you need to be upfront. Hey, look, I really want to, get inside your pants. I want to take this further. I think of you as a little brother. Oh,
Dead it.
Okay. Listen,
Kill it.
I'm going to be back. I'm going to go to the store, and you go home, you go cry on your pillow, you masturbate, get up, meet a new girl the next day, and try again.
And if you're...
And don't call her back.
I was going to address that.
If you want to do something, don't call her back. Let her try to leave you a bunch of messages for like 2 weeks, maybe 3. And they're like, yeah, what's up? You called? What's the matter? Everything good? Oh, I haven't talked to you. You disappeared that night. And you just be like, well, I mean, what was the point of staying?
Right.
You know, I told you I wanted more. You said no, no, thank you. So I went home. This is not going to work.
Right.
I mean, if you want to take it someplace else, then maybe we could hang out later. But otherwise,
I don't want to waste my time.
Why am I wasting my time?
Sum 41.
And there's a strange thing that shows a lot of strength. And sometimes the girl will be like, well, okay, maybe we could hang out.
It not only that, it shatters her self-esteem.
Yeah.
Some of these girls, they get off on having power over men, knowing they have them in a corner like servants.
Yeah.
And what you've essentially done it's a weird thing that happens. I've seen it a lot. If the girl is always calling on you for help, but you're not the one that she's fucking, you need to start to reevaluate that. You need to be like, okay, she's obviously using me. And here's a weird thing that's going to happen. Dead her. Do not talk to her. It's going to be awkward. You might be in a situation where you're already hanging out the movies. If you're hanging out the movies and you tell her at that point, hey, what are we? Maybe the guys that are with her are not confident enough to be like, hey, I want to get in your pants. Nobody's going to say that. What if you say, hey, I'm just curious. What am I to you? Because I want to take it further. And she's like, no, you're just my friend. You're like, okay. So then
I wouldn't even be nice at that point. I'd be like,
that's what I was going to say.
I would be like, all right, I got to use the bathroom. And I would just
leave.
I would just leave.
And if you're in a situation where you can't leave, cut off the friendliness. Don't hee ha ha like you used to, because I'm sure a lot of you guys probably do that when you like someone.
Unless you're in jail, you can always leave.
Yeah.
Honestly, because
when she has the car and
take a cab. There's Uber. I would leave. Right. Send a very clear message. Oh, you thought you were gonna have company tonight? Oh well, you're not.
And if she starts to call you, because she might
Why don't you call the guy you prefer to fuck?
Right.
Instead of me to go hang out with you and carry your bag.
And here's the thing that will happen. Be prepared for this. That is when you leave. You got to be strong. And if she calls you,
she's gonna curse you out.
Don't answer. If she sees you, physically. Now, here's the thing. Body language plays a very big part in this, guys. She's going to see you the next day. She's gonna be like, hey, what happened to you? Look everywhere else but her. And I don't mean in a submissive manner, like you're afraid of her. Look as though you can't wait to get out of that situation, and just cut her off and be like, look, I had stuff I had to do. Sorry, I gotta go.
Yeah,
just avoid her.
But that's a good thing. Some other things came up that I had to take care of.
And another tactic that women like that will use, because some women get off on that power, they will get into a situation where they feel horrible, or the boyfriend did something to them, and she's going to call you crying, or she's going to need your help, and it's going to be this big thing. She feels like killing herself, yada, yada. You must be prepared for all those situations, guys, because that's the part where your weakness and your strength is going to be tested. Because naturally, guys want to come in and swoop. They're going to be like, oh, this is the opportunity to save her. Maybe she'll want me then. Don't fall for it. It's a tactic. Trust me. You've got to be hard.
See, there's a way you could turn that around. You can go for it, and halfway through the night, make a move. And she's like, what are you doing? I don't want this. You leave her again, which will be a double KO.
But what if it's like a really bad situation, like she got raped or something?
Well, I mean, you don't want all that drama that comes with that. You really
just
don't.
Like call. Do you have family to call?
I'm sorry that happened to you. You should really be with family.
Yeah,
and maybe the police.
Yeah, and some horrible situations happen. Some people go to like the next level and get hit by a car.
Well, you have to analyze. Why are you dealing with that person in the first place? If you were dealing with them because you were interested in them relationship or sexually, then all this other stuff doesn't matter. If it ain't got anything to do with relationships or just banging, I mean, there's some people that's like, look, she doesn't want to go out with me, but she screws me. So for the meantime, there's some value there.
Right. You're getting something out of the relationship. Not like my friend who wasn't getting anything out of the relationship, but going further into debt.
Yeah.
And here's another thing too, guys. If you are let's say you're friends with a girl, you really actually do like her company, but you want to date her, and you're always taking her out to dinner or lunch and you guys are hanging out, ask her one day, like, hey, you got the bill?
Nothing dry. What did someone say? Nothing dries up a pussy like splitting the bill.
Because no, honestly, if she's like, well, I thought you were taking, I'm like, no, but we're friends, so it's only fair that we share and foot the bill. Like, you know, I need to be getting something out of this too. And if she's like, I don't have any money, get up and leave, and be like, she's got the bill, because
well, you got to still pay your share.
Well, yeah,
you go up to the counter, you say, yeah, I'd like to pay for what I ate, my drink, and they'd be like, what about her? I didn't eat her food. I'm paying for what I ate.
Right.
She'll cover her own bill.
Or ask her and tell her ahead of time before you guys even go out. Hey, you got your share, because this isn't a giveaway free thing. You're not her sugar daddy. You're not getting anything out of it. A sugar daddy who provides for a woman, he's getting sex and company, not just company. She can get that from anybody. But if you want to be with this girl, she has to respect you first. That's a big reason why women don't give in to men like that, because they don't respect them. And if you want a woman to respect you, you need to leave her essentially, you know, at the altar. Leave her, let her think, because at that point she'll realize not having you and the fact that you don't need her, that will make her really think about what she actually wants. And if she doesn't want you, then just go on to the next one.
To be honest, even if she says, oh, I thought about it and I really want to be with you, I wouldn't trust that relationship regardless. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If at best, if you can get a screw out of it, get the screw. But as soon as she starts down the way again, dead her ass for good.
Right. Okay. So here's another situation. So if you find that one to leave situation, that is, if you start to get into a relationship with a girl, and she brings a whole bunch of drama with her, like the person who wrote in the email recently about this girl who was in a relationship with somebody else, that is a great time to leave. A lot of the time, people think that they have to leave a relationship when they're in the relationship and shit goes south. You can avoid that by noticing certain things. What are some examples? If she's already dating some guy and she's on and off with him, that's a big one.
Dating some guy and on and off. What do you mean?
Meaning she is emotionally tied to this person. She's only with you because she's using for you emotional support. Now, that can work in some instances, but if it's like a crazy kind of relationship where she and this man are just always in it, she's always back and forth with him, the reason why I say to leave that is because you don't know what the situation is with this guy. If he's on and off with her and they're too into each other, you can get in the middle of it. He can come beat you up. It can be a whole thing. You want to leave that drama. That was kind of like the situation where one person wrote in, this girl was with someone else, he threatened the other person, and it became this big thing.
Oh yeah, you don't want to deal with baby mama drama or anything like that.
Yeah. Leave that situation, especially if you're not getting anything out of it. Another thing to look for, and we can talk about a situation with a person that we know personally.
Oh boy.
Okay, if you're in a relationship with someone and you've just been dating them for about a week, and they're starting to make demands on how you run your life, leave. That person's batshit crazy. We've had a friend or someone sort of kind of close to us, an associate, and he's had very bad luck with women.
Oh, yeah.
He meets this woman, and within, a month or 2 months?
Like a month, I think.
She wants to move in with him. Within a month, she starts dictating his Facebook habits. We don't see him anymore. And this is a very outspoken person. This is someone who's uber friendly with everyone. He cuts him off from his friends. She starts to have a problem with him even having certain friends on Facebook. Now, mind you, when you've gotten to a certain point of the relationship, I understand where both people can make demands on the other person. Guy doesn't want his girl going out clubbing. A girl doesn't want her guy talking to a whole bunch of other females. You've just met the person, and she is telling you and making all these demands. That is a surefire way to end up in a crazy relationship. Now this guy is in this relationship with this girl, and she is threatening him. What was the situation like?
I don't think he told us everything, honestly.
Yeah,
I think they might have gotten to a fight. Mm-hmm. He raged a bit. I don't know if he hit her or anything.
Right.
But I could tell from day one that this woman was
Bad news.
poison.
Yeah.
She comes into the relationship. Not only is she like 10 years older than him or more,
Right.
she already has kids, divorced or separated. I don't know what the hell it is, and is moving into this guy's house. She's like in her 40s. He's in his 20s. Like, what is he, like 26, 27?
I think so. And she's moving in too, so it's harder. Like, you can't just get up and leave.
It's not like her place. It's his apartment. So I don't know what happened. They got into an argument, whatever. So she basically is holding him hostage via a domestic charge, basically saying, "Oh, he hit me."
Yeah.
And then they have to go to court. And he from his mouth, she told him, "As long as you behave, I'll drop the charges."
Wow.
But she's like really holding it over him, and I don't even know. Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where it is really bad for him either way, and the advice for that essentially is leave the state, go to another state, or avoid situations like altogether. Now, one of the questions you guys may ask is, how do you know a woman is going to be that type of woman? Because of course you meet someone, they put on their best foot forward. You have no idea of knowing how crazy that person is until you're actually in the relationship. What do you do? What would be your way of identifying if someone is crazy? I mean, I know your way, but
I'm bad with that.
Well, a good way, honestly, because you have to court the person before, right?
Yeah.
Social media is a great tool for stalking people ahead of time.
No, you're right. It is. If you are interested and you have access to their social media, it's probably a good idea. Just scroll down their page for the last year or two.
Because employers do that all the time.
It's true. It's an interview for plenty of employment positions, and why can't it be an interview for a dating position?
Yeah, you've done it before when
I've
done it.
I go through back in the day when I was like, ooh, who is? Let me look at this person, and I'm like, ooh, they got a lot of drama.
Yeah. Like, you just find that you'd be surprised. And someone had told me, social media does tell a story. And there are times people want to befriend me, or guys, whatever in the past. And I would look at their social media, or in the past, you ask people about them. You look at their behavior. How do they treat their friends? How do they treat their family? What do their friends or other people say about them? What do their exes say about them? So by gathering all that information first before you move in with someone or get serious with someone, you can save yourself a lot of trouble. If you've been hearing from several people, oh, she's a gold digger, or oh no, she let guys run a train on her. Like, you will hear things about people, especially people who are crazy. Usually they don't stay quiet for very long. They leave a trail of destruction behind them that you can actually trace back to a point.
Also, something to note is anybody who's crazy in that manner or not, they'll say, oh, this situation, this wasn't my fault. This person did this. You're going to want to evaluate if all the problems in their life are someone else's fault. Because that's a big problem when you meet someone and they give you a story. Oh, my ex-husband, he's trying to get back at me, trying to keep the kids from me. Maybe. Completely possible. They might not have broken up nicely.
Right. But
analyze. Okay, well, what about this? Why did she lose her job there? Why did she decide to do that? And if everything, they had it out for me, or this lady at work, this manager at work is causing problems for me.
It's always everybody else's fault but that person.
Yeah. That typically means that this woman is toxic.
Or she's always gossiping about people. And there are people who gossip, but usually I find a lot of people who like a lot of drama, they're usually people who cause a lot of drama.
Yeah.
Just from my experience. Now, another question that some of you may ask us, you may be saying, well, Mr. Brain and Mrs. Hart, what if they don't leave any trails on social media? What if you don't hear anything?
Then they're a psychopath.
No, but legit, like, there are other, like, red flags that you'll notice. People usually leave red flags. And one of the big red flags with crazy people, and I've seen this in men too, they have issues. They suffer from either depression, they've been raped, they've been abused, And they have this aura about them where everything is, they're a victim all the time. If somebody is saying that they're always a victim, or they're acting as though they're always a victim, they always need your help, they can't do anything for themselves, chances are they're going to always want to rely on you. If you find a good, normal woman, she's going to be doing things for herself. Her identity is not wrapped up in you.
Like my sister beating up boys in school.
Right?
Yeah, my sister used to beat up boys in school who used to be bullies.
Oh my God. Well, they were bullies, so she was defending.
It's still hilarious.
Yeah, it is kind of hilarious. But dude, one of the things that girl, like one of the red flags that you'll notice also is the girl will also want to move very fast. Be very, very wary about that. And it's kind of hard to pick that up, because when you're in that atmosphere of being in love and you have butterflies and, oh, this girl is so cool, she's paying attention to me.
Yeah, all the baby batter on the brain.
Yeah, and that's this is a great with the reason for, or the title of our channel. Brain versus heart. You got to know when to step back and stop using your heart and use your brain. Assess the situation. Get away from the girl. Guys, if you find a girl that you really like and you're hot for this girl, you need to space yourself away from that girl. Get away for a while. Say you need some space. This is good also for her being attracted to you. Take some space. Take a time to sit down and assess the situation. Who is this girl? Assess all the behaviors that you've seen from her. If she is moving very fast with you, or she's already taking way more control than she should be taking, she's making all the demands, she's expecting certain things from you, and she's giving very little in return, chances are she's crazy. Or she has some serious drama issues, and she's using you. She's going to hold that power over you when you guys get deep in the relationship. Or if she starts blowing up for no reason. If you're in a relationship, or you're getting to know someone and you're talking to her and she doesn't get what she wants from you, and if you don't give her what she wants, she blows up and it's this big emotional thing, that is a telltale red flag that she's that kind of person in a relationship, that she's going to be the kind of person to use a hammer and beat her shoulder and call the cops on you.
Oh my God, I remember that video. If you haven't seen it, there's a video online of a woman who literally did that. Mm-hmm. Beat herself on the shoulder with a hammer just so that she can get her boyfriend arrested. If it wasn't for the video, he probably would have paid a big price.
Her best friend was recording it too.
Yeah.
It's freaking sick. And also, here's another one. I know a lot of the girls who probably listen to this will not like this. I'm not saying this is everyone, but if the girl you like is a staunch radical feminist, just be careful. Because I'm not saying all, so don't get your panties in a bunch, but a lot of the radical feminist women that I've met or that I've seen, they start off a certain way, and the indoctrination that men are supposed to bow down to them and women rule the world, that carries over into their relationship.
Oh yeah.
I've seen it so many times, and what they'll do is they'll paint a story. It doesn't matter doesn't matter if she cheated on you or she does something in a relationship, it will always be your fault. It will always be your fault. The other thing is that people like that will not allow you to be a male. They will see everything that you do that is natural to you as a male.
Anything that's masculine.
Yeah. They will try to take that from you, or they will basically want to run the relationship. It's not about both of you. It's about her being the ruler over how you behave. I'm not saying that you shouldn't compromise, because some people probably ask me, well, if you're in a relationship, shouldn't you change certain things to compromise with the person? You can't just go out there and sleep with other people, because some people may not like that. But there are certain behaviors that the female will exude, like, for example, if you usually hang out with your friends and all of a sudden she's like, no, you're not allowed to hang out with your friends. The language that she uses.
I'm not going to say his name. My ex-friend, the one I called that time.
Yeah.
That's the... And good for him that him and his ex-wife split up.
Yeah.
But that's what his wife was. I mean, there were so many violations of things she did to him.
Right.
That I even told him on the phone back. And like, he went to go take a crap, and his wife is barging in, being just an asshole.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, like, you're just taking a crap.
Right.
What the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Or here's another thing too. If you had friends or family that you hung out with from before you even knew this girl, and she says, you're not allowed to hang out with them anymore. And she uses that word. Like, it's not even that they say, hey, what's going on with this person? They give you a reason he's a bad influence. That person's selling drugs.
I could
it's about
understand
me.
it. I could understand if it's a neighborhood whore that she doesn't want you hanging out with.
No, yeah, within reason.
Yeah.
But if you're just hanging out, with the guys, and I have to put this in, if you've given the girl no reason, like if you're somebody who's been sleeping around on her, and then she's acting that way, I can kind of understand. But if earlier on in the relationship you haven't given her any reason to think of you anyway, you're just doing what you've always been doing before she came along, and she starts making demands like she's the Queen of England, and she's like, no, you can't do this, no, you can't do that, then you need to be like, okay, listen, you need to get off. Either you accept me, or you accept that this is the life that you came into, this is what I was doing before you came along, or you go. I don't know you like that, because if you've only been dating for like 2 weeks and she's already there,
I've seen it.
Making demands and stuff like that. Like, no. I don't care how hot she is or how enamored you are with her. You got to step back and just let go, because I think that's how a lot of guys get into trouble.
Oh yeah, totally agree.
What would you think is a best way to like I know those people
To
are going
deal with that
to
situation?
deal with that? Like, what do you say in that situation?
As soon as that happens in a relationship, you have to be. I mean, it could go both ways. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You have to basically be like, who's that famous Wild West movie star?
The Will Smith?
No, Will Smith.
I don't know.
I didn't say Wild West.
Oh, well, I don't know.
The Duke. What the hell's his name?
Duke.
You gonna make me look it up?
Yeah, you have to look it up.
All right, we're gonna look this up. Wayne. The Duke. Let's see. No, not the Dukes of Hazzard, you stupid computer. A Western. Oh my God, are you serious?
You don't remember?
No, I don't.
You don't remember?
It's not Clint Eastwood. It was the other guy, the famous guy.
There are a lot of famous guys.
Famous Western actors.
He's old, so I don't even
John
remember.
Wayne.
Really?
I didn't remember it. Okay, so you got to be like a John Wayne type thing in your head, where you got.
How are we supposed to do? No, some of us, look, we're young people. We haven't watched. We don't know. Got to use another character.
Look, just go with me, okay? What you're basically gonna say to a girl is, okay.
You got it all wrong.
Play out. Tell me I can't go, and we're fresh in the relationship. We're not married.
Okay. You going out with your friends?
No, don't do that.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Where are you going?
I'm going to hang out with Bob.
I don't want you to go hang out with Bob. I want you to hang out with me. It's the end of the night. I have to go to work in the morning.
I understand.
You're always hanging out with Bob.
I understand. Look, if you want to go out with me, we'll make plans. Go out Friday, Thursday.
Okay, well, you're not sleeping with Bob, though.
Yeah, I understand that. But I already made plans. I already told him
you didn't
I'd
ask
be
me
there.
about the plans.
I don't need to ask you.
I'm your girl.
If you want to stay my girl, you'll show me some respect.
Wow. Okay, then maybe I won't.
All right. Bye. I'm going to go be with Bob. If you get a little bit of civility in you and you want to talk, you give me a call.
All right, well, fine. You go sleep with Bob then.
All right. Bye-bye. Now, that might end the relationship.
But at that point, it's probably.
But see, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
And if she gets her act right.
Mm-hmm. She'll respect you. She'll know who you are off the bat.
Yeah.
She'll know that she can't manipulate you.
Yeah, that's a big deal. There's a lot of guys that but I don't want to lose her.
Yeah, that's where they get in trouble.
That is where they get into trouble, and the girls know that.
Yeah.
So it feels so counterproductive to stand your ground and then lose the vagina. Mm-hmm. But it's gonna save you either a world of misery, or she's gonna be like, I can't play this game with him.
Exactly. There are way more vaginas than penises anyway, so,
in the world, yes.
Odds are in your favor,
Yes, that's true.
And that kind of confidence, there is some kind of confidence to it. Like, if that happens to you and she walks away, it will hurt, but then a part of you, the manly part of you, would be like, yeah.
I stood my ground.
I stood my ground. I told the pussy no. I own the pussy, even though I don't have the pussy anymore, but you know what I mean.
you'd be surprised. She's going to be mad. She's going to be fuming in her house.
And you know what? She'll probably tell her friends, and the friends want to fuck you because they'll be like, damn, you know.
And you know what? If she wants to break up with you and curses you out, and her friends are like, hey, what happened with you and Cheryl? And they fuck you, do it. Because she already left you. She's like, fuck you. She can't control you. Do it.
Right.
Then you win twice as much. Not only are you a man and you respect yourself, you have self-respect. She gets to be pissed off at you. And then you fuck her friends. So you win all around. And then you know what? And then you would take it a step further. Maybe one of her friends is nice. Maybe you do want to spend some more time with this girl. And she respects you.
Yeah.
Now the girl loses a friend as well.
Right. And it could go either way. When you say that argument, it doesn't mean the girl's going to leave. That may be just a thing for her to respect you and realize that, he's ready to dump me.
Yeah.
Even though I said that, he must have other options. Like that in her mind, biologically, she's going to think that.
Or he's not worried.
Yeah. Or the self-esteem issue. She's going to be like, wow, I guess I'm not worth that much. I don't want him to think of me that way. That's what's going to be running through her mind. She's going to be mad as hell. But you know what? Most of the time, I feel like the woman would respect you and stay with you because you stood your ground. She realizes that I can't fool around with this guy, especially if it's earlier on in the relationship.
Now, let's say all that stuff goes and let's say she's angry. She's like, fine, but she calls you later. She's going to ask you, how did it go with Bob? Now, keep in mind, the only reason she did that is because she's insecure.
Yeah.
And as long as you didn't go fucking any other girls, just be like, yeah, we hung out, we drank some beers, we watched football. It was whatever. And she's like, okay. I'm just like, look, there's nothing to be stressed about. If I'm going out to a place where, there may be an issue where there's a bunch of girls that want to fuck, then okay, I could understand where you'd raise a little concern because that's reasonable when you're in a relationship.
Right.
But if I'm going out with a male friend and we're football guys, I'm not, but
yeah.
In this scenario, we're football guys. You got to give a man. There's a whole topic there.
Yeah.
Women who don't let men be men in that respect.
Yeah.
You got to let a man be a man. As long as he's not hurting you or himself, let him do his stupid little games, whatever it is. It's a waste of time. It's a hobby. You got to let a man do it. Because when you deny a man from doing that, he goes crazy.
Right. Oh, and here's another thing to help out the women too and the men. If the woman, it depends on how early you're in the relationship too. If you're early in the relationship, you're fresh. Maybe the girl has issues from the past. Because I can kind of understand that. Some girls are crazy because I guess they're trying to protect themselves and they take the baggage from relationships they just got out of and bring it into the new relationships. I've done that. So she has an issue with you going out and, sit down and talk to her. Be like, listen, Scott's my friend. What's the big deal? Why are you so mad? And actually get her to talk to you. She's like, and if she doesn't come up out and say it, she probably won't because she doesn't want to look weak. Just say, you think I'm gonna go over there and meet some girl? That's not what's going on. I'm not gonna do any of that. Now, if you try to assure her and then she still acts like that,
I can give you one thing.
Okay.
It's kind of a catch-22.
Yeah.
But sometimes the assurance, invite her along once.
Yeah.
Providing it's something that she won't enjoy. If it is something she might enjoy, but you really just want some space to hang out with the boys, then don't do that.
Yeah, because then if it becomes a thing.
Because then she'll want to come every time.
Yeah.
But if it's something that she's going to be like, oh, this is boring.
Yeah. Or tell her go out with the girls.
No.
It's fair, because the thing is, if you're going out all the time and then she's stuck at home, then she's gonna feel like, oh well, I don't have the power.
And then there's no relationship. I'm not talking about a guy who does it all the time.
Yeah,
but
just once in a while.
No. Even so, let's say I knew plenty of guys that Sundays football.
Yeah,
that was their thing.
But then a woman tries to take you away from your friends just because she doesn't want you having friends.
Well, it's not that she doesn't want you to have friends. She gets mad that you're giving time to something other than her.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's not cool. And if you find that, like I said, early in the relationship, just to reiterate it real quick, that is a red flag, and that is a sign that maybe this person is not the person for you.
Yeah.
It's not like even she asks, oh, is it okay if I come along once? Or would you mind if it's okay if you don't want to? But if she starts making demands like, straight up, I don't like you hanging out with Bob, or I don't like you hanging out with this, or she's acting like your mother and you guys don't eat. She doesn't even own you. Like, you 2 weeks in the relationship, 1 month in a relationship, that is not the time for a girl to be making demands. That she's passing her place. And when that happens, guys, you need to tell her outright, you're overstepping your bounds right now.
Yeah.
If she says to you, because there may be a catch-22, as you said, if she says, well, I'm going to go hang out with my girls then. That's a threat.
It is a threat.
And
it's a threat saying, well, I'm going to find a dick to put inside me tonight.
Right. But she doesn't actually say that. So when that happens, be like, okay. But just understand that when she does that, and if she actually does go, the relationship might be over.
Yeah.
So, we'd have to go into that deeper.
You know what the moral of the story is? The moral of the story is, in my opinion, for guys, now we'll have to cover a whole female relationship episode on this.
Yeah.
But for guys, the media and women have portrayed vagina being very valuable.
Yeah. It's not that special, trust me.
It's not
salami.
It's not that valuable.
It's salami potato.
It's really isn't that valuable. If it's like my keyboards. Yeah, I like this keyboard. It's comfortable. Oh, it breaks. Get a new one.
Right.
Continue
or
on.
you don't like it. I'm the queen of that. I buy something. It's not working for me. Put you on the shelf. I'm going to buy something else.
And I like how you said, put them on the shelf.
Yeah.
This is a smart person, especially women do it when you're going to get when you want looking for something new. Put your old one on a shelf just in case.
Yeah.
The new one doesn't work out. You still know the old one a little better.
Yeah, exactly. You have it as a spare tire. So
That's so horrible.
It does sound horrible. But, women do it too. It's not just, if you're any woman watching, it's not just, oh, you're just helping out the men. No. When it really boils down to it, guys, and women, it's all about biology. And people may say, people have an issue with certain podcasts like this, or people getting advice and saying,
we should do a woman's the woman perspective next episode.
Yeah.
A lot of female topics, because I could use some education on that too.
Right, that's true. Because I've done some videos on that, and hope your husband's not watching.
I've seen them.
You haven't seen all of them, though.
No, I haven't.
But yeah, life is a game. People have an issue, and hear me out. I don't agree with people playing with people's hearts or feelings.
Yeah.
However, there is a game to life. And if you look at biology and how animals, because we are still considered as animals, part of the animal kingdom technically, a lot of it boils down to instinct, the way that you treat men, the way that you treat women, the kind of role that women and men play, the behaviors. A lot of it boils down to instinct, biology. A lot of it boils down to just nature. And if you can tap into that and understand the game of life, then it will be so much easier to play along.
I think the biggest thing is, women, your job is to make a man feel like a man. Men, your job is to make a woman feel like a woman. Right.
Yeah. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's the advice that we had to give on that. I know we didn't go into detail. We'll be reading emails or.
Oh, there you go. What's the email address if anybody does have an email message?
Oh, justaskchannel@gmail.com. You just confirm that real quick.
Weren't you making a new one?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I do have to go. Right now it's Just Ask Channel, but we're
Just Ask Channel.
Yeah, just
at
ask
gmail.com.
JUSTASKCHANNEL@gmail.com.
Now keep in mind we're going to change that, but for now you can send a few messages if anybody wants to write in, and we'll get the questions. Also, this podcast is being hosted on Anchor. You may not have heard of it. It's fine. It's a Spotify project for hosting podcasts. If you go to brainversusheart.com, not only can you get the RSS link, you can also send in a voice message.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Don't use your name.
Yeah.
or
You
any.
can use a fake name. Don't use your real name.
Yeah,
Be
you can
smart.
just be like, "Hi, my name is Bob. My girlfriend's a whore." or you could say, your boyfriend is whatever.
Try to get to the point and keep it as, because we do have to read several emails or listen to several messages. So the shorter you can keep it, the better. Just do the highlights of the details. Hey, I met this girl. What do I do if my girl is acting distant or my NFP is acting distant? And just leave it as short as possible.
Mm-hmm. Voice memo or message, and we'll play it on the podcast and answer your questions directly. We may not be able to get to everyone, but we're going to try to get to all the relevant questions that people may have. brainversusheart.com. You should be able to, if not already, you should be able to find us on iTunes, Spotify, and most podcasting platforms, and the YouTube channel, which is
right now it's at Just Ask, but we're going to be changing
it's going to be renamed to Brain versus Heart. Mm-hmm. You can go to brainversusheart.com, and there'll be links to everything. We done?
One more thing, for those of you who don't feel like writing in, if you have a suggestion for topics that you want us to do, just leave it in the comments on the YouTube channel, for Brain versus Heart YouTube channel. You can feel free. We will prioritize the memos and the messages, the emails that are sent directly first.
Yeah, the order is this: voice messages first priority, because we can play them on the podcast. They're much more interactive.
Right.
Emails next.
And then comments.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, this is my husband,
Brain.
And I am Mrs. Hart. Sounds like a Sesame Street cartoon.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning in, you guys. We just want to help people. We've made a lot of mistakes too. And we just want to help other people avoid some of those mistakes.
Yeah.
So thanks, guys. And I hope you have a great evening. Bye.